All right. So next up, Barry Hott. Your pretty ads suck. Why ugly ads win every time? So I think Barry, you're famous for creating ugly ads that scale a lot. So and
That's
I'm
me.
excited to learn more about that. How are you doing today? Oh,
I'm doing great.
you even have the gear. Make ugly ads cap. Like wow, that's
Of
a
course.
I didn't realize it was a trademark.
Of course. Yeah. I sell this hat for $4,000 on my website. There's, of course, a 99% off discount code if you know where to find it. So that's
Yeah, you're gonna drop it
$40
in the
plus
chat today,
tax.
I hope, and you might make some sales. But
We'll see. We'll see. No worries about
the
that.
floor is yours. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I've been enjoying listening to a lot of other my peers here. Love just listening to Zach and listening to Dara earlier and switching over between Dara and Alex at the same time and Savannah this morning. It's been really awesome. So there's actually going to be some common trends here and themes if you've been paying attention all day. Some of what you might have heard from Dara, you might have heard from Savannah, what you might have heard from Zach. They're going to echo here, which is kind of exciting to hear this from a lot of this media buying summit perspective. I'm pumped. I'm loving this. So, hey, yes, I am Barry Hott. Some of you might know me from Twitter at BingHott. If you don't, go follow me on there or on LinkedIn or on TikTok or YouTube. I'm all over the place. I'm a growth marketing advisor and consultant. I've been doing this kind of advertising and stuff for a while, back since they were just ads were only on the right column only on Facebook back in 2008. So been doing it for a while, and I've been spending nearly $1 billion of clients' money over that time, and some of my own as well. And I make ugly ads. One other note, I also advise in a performance creative agency called AdCrate. That's adcrate.co. So if you're looking for some performance ads, that's where to go. We can help you out there. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. What are ugly ads? Why do we typically make pretty ads pretty? Ugly ads versus bad ads. Your objections to ugly ads, or maybe your creative director or brand director's objections to ugly ads, and then targeting with your creative. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So what is an ugly ad? It's about performance over aesthetics. It's realizing that nobody cares about you, nobody cares about your brand or what you have to say. People only care about themselves. So the quicker that you can realize that, the better that you can make ads. You have to make people pay attention first and then get them to care. This ad on the right here, I can't show the whole thing because it's 3 minutes long, but this,
look at that chicken,
is one of my favorite ads I've ever made that I'm in, where I literally eat an entire bag of these chicken chips for Flock for over 3 minutes, uncut, unedited. And this ad has been running for this brand for 2 years since I shot this. It is still live for this brand today. I don't even work with them anymore, and they still run this ad. So this is, to me, is a classic ugly ad where it's shot. If you look at this, I'm going to mute it so you don't have to listen to me crunch your problem. I apologize if it's lunchtime for everyone. But you'll see, like, I intentionally shot this with this camera angle, with this light in the background, with the overhead light, and just went on and literally ate this entire bag of chips. So that's talking about, making something ugly right there. But it was authentic. That's the thing that works about that ad really well, is all of our brains have subconscious ad blockers. Nobody wants to see ads. That's basically the theme of this entire presentation, is nobody wants to see ads. So authentic content that doesn't look like an ad immediately can get around those ad blockers. Authenticity is on a spectrum. So there's different ways that things can be authentic, and there's a trade-off. Sometimes you want to make things that are more authentic, which can get more attention that way, but other times you might want to be more salesy and a little bit more brand focused. It's a bit of a trade-off, a give and take here. And then how believable things are compared to like reality. So this ad I can show a clip of right here. I apologize for your ears in advance. This one is intentionally quite loud. Oh, it's muted. Oh, that's fine.
Tire shines.
Sorry, here we go. Let's try that again.
If you're sick of tire
shines, I help this brand. This is Exoforma. These guys are nuts, making great ads here. Literally help them to make a hook that was more relevant to their target audience and would get their attention while not being super polished and being super relatable. and using this kind of post-it note vibe. And
if you're sick of tire shines that sling all over the...
Enough. So one of the things about Make Ugly Ads is that it's really about testing against your own biases, your own beliefs. You should be asking yourself, why do I want to make the ad this way? Why do I want to shoot it in this way? Why do I want to use this camera and this lighting? And why do I want to put this color or this text overlay? What is it about my background, about my personal experience as a marketer that's led me here? What are my biases that led me to want to say this and want to put this out there? You kind of have to shut off your marketing brain. You have to think, what does the actual viewer want to see? Because most of us marketers forget, like we think we're so inside our own brand and so excited about our brand and our product that we forget that most people on the planet have no idea who we are and what this is. Even if you are a popular product, most people on the planet, most people in the country still don't know what you are and what this is. So think about that. Think about how do you overcome that problem? And then think also, what would a real creator do? What would someone who is not an advertiser, what would an actual not influencer, but like a real good creator, like Mr. Beast, sure, but like that's a bit much. But like a good creator on TikTok who gets, hundreds of thousands or millions of views, how would they shoot this? What are the things that they would do? And we can take a look at this quick clip here from my buddy Sean.
Time for a snack break. We got butter toffee mixed nuts. We got bourbon.
One of my favorite things about this ad is literally we have the brand side of the packaging facing away. You have it facing away from the camera. Like, yeah, you can still see nuts.com on the bottom there, but we're not trying to smash you in the face with the brand. We're trying to give you an authentic feeling and experience. And this is like a guide to what this guy likes about these products and why it would be valuable to you because these products are delicious. Shout out to nuts.com, delicious products. Ads are expensive to make. Ugly ads save money. You can make more ads more rapidly, which means you can test more concepts. More concepts equals more opportunities to succeed. A lot of this is like gambling. You want to be able to place more bets. The more bets that you can place and take, the better you have a chance of winning. And it's not about just throwing everything at the wall. I don't necessarily believe in test everything, but I do generally believe that you want to be testing more than if you were super limited by what your creative director or brand director or whatever just wants about just one aesthetic. And then production costs are rarely included in CPA CAC calculations, and your brand or your agency profitability depends on these production costs being low. I think going back to what Connor this morning was saying, Connor, big shout out to Connor. A lot of us are media buyers. I'm a media buyer talking about creative. Savannah Sanchez is a media buyer who talks about media buying and talks about creative. Dara Denny is a media buyer talking about creative. We all have this kind of combined media buying creative vibe because we understand that you got to get the media buying right, but you got to get the creative right. And spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on creative production doesn't mean you're going to get better performing ads. In fact, it often leads to the opposite. So you don't want to be in that situation where you have high budget ads that are just failing. You want to avoid that, especially because then people get really upset when you're not spending ad dollars on the ads that cost a lot of money to make. And that's the worst possible situation. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So why do we tend to make ads pretty? Traditional legacy media is pretty. Print media, out of home, these are things in places where it makes sense for things to be polished. TV shows and magazines are shot on fancy, expensive cameras. They're polished, they're premium. So having ads that also are polished and premium alongside of those make sense. That's what you should be doing for it to make sense. And that's what the entire industry has been built on for a long time. So TV, print media, those are pretty things. And that's where all of the historical marketing minds have come from. And I studied marketing in college. Your boss, if you have a boss, they probably studied marketing, or things that were passed down from these previous generations of marketing are all coming from this where we had to make pretty things. We had to be super polished because it had to look and feel proper for those platforms. But it's no longer the case. Ads like this that I'm about to show you from Ralph Lauren, like this doesn't look or feel good on Instagram when you see it. Nobody cares. This ad could be, you remove the words Ralph Lauren from this. There's no emotional connection. There's no reason for anyone to pay attention to this. Yes, Ralph Lauren consumers and fans are going to enjoy this, but other people, I don't know. And that's my point, is try to make ads that get new people in and get them to care. Social media compared to, TV and magazines and all that stuff, social media is fundamentally not pretty. Most social content is made by amateurs. Viral videos are usually low resolution. They're often screenshots of other content or screen grabs of videos from Twitter or something like that. They have obnoxious text overlays in native font styles. I've posted this on the internet before. This is a Memesar, which is a content aggregator that reposts memes and viral content. This, at the time I took the screenshot, I don't know, it's 8 months ago or whatever it was, had over 1 million likes, over 1.5 million likes. Like, it had probably tens of millions of views on this piece of content. And that's just the viral aggregator, not even the raw piece of content alone. So think about, this is what people are watching on social. This is what people want to be seeing. I'm going to play this, and because it's fun. I'm going to let this play because it's really fun. Okay. And then it cuts to show another video, another low resolution video with other people doing this dance. And then I swipe again and it shows another group of people doing this dance. My point is, you don't have to make viral content like this, but if you're making content that's super polished and it comes up after this, it's not what people want to see. People and expect to see this grainier, lower quality stuff when they're on Instagram, when they're on TikTok, when they're on Facebook. They want to see that stuff. Ugly ads don't necessarily mean they're going to be good. There are ugly ads that are bad ads. They're not, one and the same. So ugly ads can be, intentionally made to feel and look less polished or unpolished, more raw, more believable. But ugly ads can be bad ads too. I'm sure everyone watching this has had bad UGC or seen bad UGC, and it sucks. So just making something ugly doesn't mean it's going to be good. That maybe used to be the case 2 years ago, but now not as much. Bad ads are bad ads are bad ads. Okay. You still have to make a good angle, make a good story, and make people feel and connect to your content. You need to do it in a way that gets attention and is relevant and feels authentic now, because we're not even in a world where going back, I'm going to go back a few slides. Sorry. It's not even that people just see content from their friends and their family. It's that people are seeing content from viral aggregators and from the most viral videos in the world. They're just being spoon-fed to us constantly. So we have to be able to keep up with that rather than make stuff that just looks like your friends' content or random people's friends' content. So I want to show the hook from an ugly ad on the left here. This ad crushes for the perfect gene.
What? If you're anything like me, you can never find the gene.
This guy's pulling a giant jug out of his pants. There's a bit of innuendo here. It's crazy. This hook does amazing. And it's super relevant. It's not just hook bait. It's related to stretchy jeans. This ad on the right is the worst ad I think I've ever seen.
Hey, you. Got the munchies? Get a cash advance up to $250.
Hey, you got the munchies. Get a cash advance. This is the worst connection I've ever seen of relevant hook to irrelevant hook to unrelated product I've ever seen. I hate this so much, and it's polished. There is no reason for anyone to watch this, click this, or buy from this ad. This is awful. I am sorry. This is terrible. Do not make this ad. Don't do anything like this. Should I only make ugly ads? No. You can make some pretty ads too. The variety is important. So make sure, don't just think oh, Barry said, only make ugly ads. No, but ugly ads can help accompany everything else you're doing. And ugly ads work really well with a pretty product, a pretty brand, because you go and experience that on the site. You go and experience that when you receive the product. The product doesn't have to be ugly. So how to make ugly ads that perform? Identify what matters to your audience and understand their values. Focus on their problems, their insecurities, and their interests. I love this top text headline here. I'll never put body wash on my balls again. This is from Dr. Squatch, I think.
If you're still washing your balls.
So classic. That's a classic ugly ads hook that's related, and it gets guys thinking like, whoa, wait a second. Like, why would I'm putting body wash on my balls? What am I doing wrong? And it makes me immediately feel insecure. What do I was saying before, like, what do users expect or want to see? It's their friends, personalities they follow, viral content, and they don't want to see ads. They're ready to skip them. You have to fight for their attention and make them give you your attention, and then you still have to fight to keep that attention. I would recommend anyone who's in this ad to go listen to Mr. Beast talk and listen to him talk about keeping people's attention. He talks about retention a lot, and there's a lot of lessons that ad creatives can learn from him.
I took my legs from this to this. Not a single pore in sight. And no, girl, it's not laser. We know a good scrub does wonders on strawberry.
There was about, we watched 6 seconds of that. I feel like there was like 10 cuts, maybe a cut a second, maybe a little bit more. So it's like giving people a little taste and then keep going, keep the story moving, keep it going so that people don't lose interest. So that's just another technique you can keep in mind. We want to make content, like just get out there and make some ads, get off your butt, go do Post-it notes, go like just put a Post-it note on an ad, on the product and like shoot something like that. If you don't even have something you want to say, like just literally take a blank Post-it note and put it on a product, and then like later you can do Photoshop it in. You can just Photoshop it in, or like iPad scribble it in later with when you have a good idea. Go to ChatGPT and ask for it, and you can literally do that. By the way, shout out to Lone River Ranch Water. I forgot to mention earlier that I helped launch this hard seltzer back in 2020, and we got acquired by Diageo in 21. I meant to mention that in the intro, but I forgot. So keep it going here. You want to find the balance between authenticity and engaging content, and shoot stuff yourself. If you're watching this, if you're a media buyer, you're a brand owner, whatever you are, haven't actually shot something yourself, go shoot something yourself just to get those creative juices flowing. Even if you never make it live as an ad, it'll help you understand what you need to say and how you need to say it and what you can do with a camera and how that feels. It'll make you better at your job. And a big part of this is like targeting with your creative, getting the right attention from the right audience for the right reason. And that relevance is a spectrum. You want to dodge subconscious ad blockers, make people feel something. You can educate, you can inform, you can make them feel insecure, make them laugh. Anything you can do to make an emotion, a feeling happen in the first second, that's the best thing you can do. You can shift over gradually into a more branded aesthetic later on in the ad. That's okay. I'm not against that. I'm not crazy. So when you're being, just to make stuff ugly, here's a quick list of like stuff to consider: talent, lighting, camera type, camera angle, script, story, setting. You want to make things aspirational and relatable. I call that aspir-relatable. These are just things that you can use to make things more ugly. Just take one of these things and adjust it to make it uglier. Maybe don't hire the prettiest talent. Maybe make the lighting a little imperfect. Think about those things and just change at least one of those variables. Here's another ad from was it Truly Beauty?
This 3-step routine has been a game.
Just another thing you can do is like emulate viral news, even though this isn't like native. Like your friends probably aren't going to post stuff like that. This is stuff that people are looking at and on TikTok and everywhere, and stealing this and copying this aesthetic can actually help you find performance, even though this is a little kind of almost spammy, kind of polished in a way. It's authentic and native in that it looks like those viral news aggregators. You can also try meme styles, right? I do not recommend using copyrighted images or assets, but this is a way you can do that by showing a gunked up old razor here on the left and a brand new Harry's razor on the right. And you want to make your ads broadly relatable. The more people that can relate to your ad, the larger the potential audience can be. I think Zach on the previous chat was talking about that. So you can create additional scale potential. The auction is going to reward that. And you want to try and find the lowest common denominators to be able to scale. Find wins that your previous content hasn't already found. So yeah, lean into stuff that's worked, but also lean into stuff that you haven't found working yet. If your ads typically work to older audiences, try and find a way to resonate with younger audiences. You can do that. And don't focus on hyper-targeted ads. It's not worth it. That was me talking about cookies. But my brand is luxury, Barry. We don't do ugly ads. Well, I hear this all the time, this objection. And what is the goal and the purpose of your ad? Is it, are you making ads for your ego or for performance? Do you want to be rich, or do you want to, I don't know, satisfy your ego or your brand director or creative strategist or creative director's ego? If your audience is on these platforms, which they are, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, then they too want to expect to see social content. They're not there to see your pretty polished images and videos. Find the most expensive component of your production flow and try making an ad without that. Whether that's if you're typically using a red camera, maybe try and use an iPhone instead. If you're typically shooting in a studio, maybe try shooting in the real setting instead, like your bathroom or your kitchen. This does not fundamentally hurt your brand. And yes, your brand can make ugly ads. This is one of my favorite things. I'm probably going to make like a video talking about this more. This Tide ad here, this is a TV commercial. And they took like viral videos and made a TV commercial with it. And it's incredible.
Try Tide Power Pods with 85% more Tide in every pod.
Who needs that much more Tide?
He does.
No, what does that mean?
It means you're gonna need more Tide.
See?
More Tide.
They literally if you look at this shot, they literally use like low quality footage intentionally. They use this stuff in an authentic way, which even when it's shown on TV, believe it or not, lends itself to authenticity. And all of these are some of the most viral videos on the planet that they got licensed, they agreed to use. And because of that, they're able to get and keep attention throughout the ad. This is an incredible ad that gets people to pay attention and understand and think about Tide, which who would have thought? And then this is a TikTok for Bentley. Here's a TikTok for Bentley.
Release yourself of the bullshit excesses and indulgences of this world.
So, just wanted to share that. But yeah, like these are examples of big brands, bigger brands than probably yours, that are doing ugly ads and doing them at a large scale. So lastly, why ugly ads win? You save money, make more relevant ads. You can test more rapidly. They're focused on the user, and they can get past the users and the viewers' subconscious ad blockers. That is it. How did I do on time? Am I good?
You're
Phil?
right on time, and we'll even take some minutes for a few questions, but you have a lot of fans in the chat. That's for sure. A lot of people were familiar with your work, and if they weren't now, they definitely are raving. Got a couple of questions. I think the first one, that a lot of people are going to relate to. How do you tell your designers, video editing team, that they are making ads too pretty? And any tips for, fighting the fight?
It's you got to show examples. That's the key. And like, it's a big fight. Some of it's about hiring as well and finding the right people that have experience, making more native, more viral, rather than traditional graphic designers. But traditional graphic designers and video editors should be able to make this stuff, but you just gotta kind of hold their hands and show them, actually, no, I really don't want you to take this polished version. I don't want you to edit this photo to remove the crease or remove like the damaged box. I want that to stay native and real and believable as it is. That's important to me, is just like holding their hand, sharing that vision with them, and also trying to bring them into the performance perspective of it and like why it helps performance.
That's awesome. On the static side, so I mean, we've seen a lot of video examples here. So how are you approaching like statics, similar, and what's the percentage of your output that's static versus video?
I don't know if I have a percentage of static versus video, but I like both. I love the post-it note stuff. Like if you follow me on Twitter, that was a big thing we talked about from Ash from Obvi. And tons of other people like joined in on that and like made post-it note ads where you just like try and make a relatable note on the thing. One other thing like I did for a client was like, here's a prop. Like I made fake parking tickets for dirty cars for a brand, for carcovers.com. So like I can like go and take a picture put this on a car and take a picture of it on the street on a dirty car and like shoot that and make that an ad, video or static, or just use this as a piece of content on its own static. So it's just about how do I convey that insecurity quickly. and get people to click. The trick is don't make clickbait, make people click with intent to buy and learn more.
That's awesome. From David, do you need to get usage rights if it's not your own content? For sure.
Yes. Do not steal. You know, it's like speeding. I always say you'll eventually get pulled over and pay a hefty ticket and lose a lot of time. So yeah, it's not worth it. You know, create your own stuff. That's what I said before, making memes. Like use images that you have the rights to, or you can buy the rights to, or you can create yourself.
And last question we'll tackle. There are two questions in one from two different users here. Does this type of ad work better for certain audiences? Like, what have you noticed? Like, what's worked like in terms of like maybe age demos or so on?
It's not as black or white as that. It's all a spectrum. Like this works for old users, younger users. This works for, you know, rich people, poor people, all different demographics. It's a great question, but it's you know, you just need to be trying to think through what are those people consuming content wise. Like that's it. That's the goal, is make stuff that those people are broadly consuming. And even if you're selling, I don't care what the most premium thing in the world is, you don't have to sell a Rolex or whatever by shooting with a fancy camera. You can still put that Rolex, shoot it on an iPhone in a premium setting that is relatable to that audience and is relatable to those people. So I think every ad and every brand can be making stuff regardless of their audience, because this is what people consume on the internet.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, your grandma is now on TikTok, so that says it all.
I mean, my dad is, you know, over 70 and he spends more time on TikTok than I do.
Yeah, that's the answer that we needed. Barry, thank you so much for joining us. That was awesome. Like, don't hesitate, if this deck is shareable, people loved it. Don't hesitate to drop it in the chat so that they can get access to all of the great work you're doing. And I'm sure there's a couple of people that needs to create ugly ads that are gonna contact you after today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This is an incredible. If you liked any of this, please find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever, on my website. There it is. Thanks so much, Phil.
Thanks, Barry. Have a great day. Speak soon, buddy.
You too. Take care.